Hello and welcome to the next innovation in marble sports, the inaugural Tour de Argon, where we will have 23 teams vying out a 21-stage race around a bunch of Algodoo circuits meant to model the actual Tour de France. We're going to start things off like the Tour de France started, with a 19-kilometer time trial around Barcelone. We have 23 teams, one representative for each of the official 23 Tour de France teams here. The route is pretty flat. There are a few kickers, but shouldn't be too much for the marbles to handle. Let's get this underway. We're going to start with our first team, Caja Royale Seguros RGA. After that, they will release in 40-second intervals, so that means that the second marble will release before the first marble's done, and so on. So, let's have Caja Royale show us how it is done. As the Tour de Argon is officially underway in 2026, Caja Royale starting out pretty good as they make it towards the first intermediate split, around 19 seconds. Up now the small foothill. I think made it through split 2 just under 30 seconds. And is now going up the uncategorized climb of the Côte de Montjuic under the Flamme Rouge to finish off the first run. Bit slow up the final little kicker there, 57.45 seconds. And now the second team, Picnic Post NL, has already started their run as Caja Royale finished. Look a bit slower than the first run. So the teams are ordered by their official UCI rankings. So it means they're theoretically going from best to worst. So the teams that we know best, like Visbalisa Bike and UAE and Bora Hansgrohe, they are going to be at the end of this time trial, just like a normal time trial. Picnic's going to be slower than Caja Royale here, so we turn our attention to the next one, which I believe is Total Energies. A team that has been looking for some success lately without that much to be had. And it looks like they are also going a bit slower than Caja Royale. So Caja Royale is probably going to be staying in the hot seat, but Total Energies quick up this climb, and they're going to take the lead. 54.016. Next up, we have Two Door Pro Cycling, who seem to go quick through split 1, quick through split 2. Might have a chance at challenging Caja Royale. And the newly hot-seated Total Energies. And it looks like they're taking really good lines. Your line choice is very important. Throughout this, Two-Door puts in a barnstormer of a time, 47.35. That could be in contention for the stage win, potentially. Next up, we have Groupama FDJ. And it looks like this run is a little bit slower than the ones that we have seen previously. So it looks to be pretty quick. Oh, right before the 3-kilometer banner, their momentum just got completely zapped. Those times, by the way, at the intermediate splits are showing combined time of the event, so take that into account. Groupama currently sits second. Next up, we have Pinarello Q36.5. Made it through split 2 pretty quickly, so this may be a challenge on two-door. Made it through split 3 quickly as well, and it looks like the line down the descent is pretty good. It's gonna be close, but I think two-door is going to win out in the end. Pinarello, though, sits second at a 50.85. Next up, we have Cofidis, a team that has been looking to bring themselves closer to the front of the pecking order in recent years. In the real Tour de France, we'll see how this compares in the Tour de Argon. And they seem to be having a quick time trial as well to slow up the summit of the Côte de Montjuic, and that's going to leave Two-Door Pro as our leader so far. Cofidis provisionally 4th. Next up, we have Lotto Intermarché. This seems to be a bit of a slower run than some of the leaders and the ones that we have seen recently. Trying to make it up in the gap between splits 2 and 3. It's definitely not going to be enough to catch Two-Door, but for many of these riders, it's going to be about damage limitation when it comes to the general classification. There's also green jersey points on offer for today's stage as Movistar starts their run. I believe green jersey points are 7, 5, 3, 2, and 1 for the top 5. No King of the Mountain points on offer today. None of these hills were categorized by the ARA. This movie starts. Looks like this is a slower run. Slow up the final climb. It's going to be around that 53-54 second range. Next up, NSN Cycling. It's usually one of the favorites on the flat stages, so we'll see how they do on this relatively flat time trial. Looks like made it through split 3 in about 39 seconds. I think Two-Door made it through around 38. And if you're Two-Door, you just wonder, with all these riders losing to you, is there a chance that you're in yellow for the next stage? That would be a huge honor to a team that, in the real Tour de France, hasn't won a single stage in its history. It would be a great thing for them to win the inaugural stage of the Tour de Argon. Next up, that is Uno X. Again, seems to be on a slower run. 42 seconds through split 3 is not where you want to be. And they've already lost to Two-Door. It's just damage limitation at this point. Of course, there is a time cutoff, 30% plus the winner's time, which should Two-Door win, I think it would be about 14.2 seconds above their time, so 61.6. So I think Picnic Post NL barely makes it under the time cutoff. They're not going to want anyone to go significantly quicker, which Jayco might be. Jayco Algodoo! No momentum on the Côte du Stade Olympique. Just caused them to peak too early. They currently sit 4th. Behind NSN 3rd, Pinarello 2nd, and of course Two-Door Pro Cycling in 1st. Next up, I think that's Alpecin Premier Tech. Their liveries and Sudal Quickstep, who I think are going next, are very similar, so sorry if I tell them apart at times. And again, it's another slow time. Looks like this is gonna come near the back of the pack, 55.6 for Alpecin. And next up, as I mentioned, Sudal Quickstep. Looked like they probably just didn't have that much momentum off the starter gate. 32 seconds approximately for split number 2 in Sagrada Familia. Now gonna be 31, or 41 rather, for split 3. It's gonna be another mid-pack team it looks like, so we focus our attention on the next rider, which is Net Company Ineos. And they seem to be putting in a pretty fast time trial here. Seem to be taking all the right lines. So this could be promising for Ineos. Ineos, quick through split number 3. They could be challenging for the win. Oh, but their momentum up the Côte du Stade Olympique has failed them again. They currently sit second though, so still some pride for them there, but Tudor Pro Cycling has been surviving for longer than some might have thought. Anyway, I think next that is Bahrain Victorious. They seem to be going a little bit slower than Ineos. But they're still quick through split 3. They just have to nail this line, which they don't, or do they? No, they don't. Not enough to beat the high mark that Tudor set. I believe that is the 4th place right now for Bahrain Victorious. Now we have Estada, another one of those flat stage specialists, and they seem to be not doing good at all, even in the flat sections. 32 seconds through split number 2. Now 41 through split 3. Seems to be getting better as the run goes on, but can't really do much. So next teams to go are probably the main general classification threats. We have Decathlon going down, then we'll have EF Education first, Easy Post, then Lidl Trek, then Bora Hansgrohe, then Vispolisa Bike, and finally UAE Decathlon. A very inopportune bounce there, and another rather inopportune bounce is going to hurt their run, and at this point it's just damage limitation for the Decathlon squad at this point. And now for Tudor, they must be thinking, the prospect of the yellow jersey could be more real than they thought after they crossed that finish line. Unless EF Education First, Easy Post has something to say about it. A bit slower than their run, but they still have huge momentum going through these foothills. And a good line as well. They could be a challenger, although I think they might just be a bit slow. Seems like they are taking the same line Tudor took. This might be a second place. Wait, they've jumped the barrier! EF Education First Easy Post has just jumped the barrier over the finish line! I don't think I've ever seen that before. Certainly not in testing. Anyway, now we have a slow Lidl Trek going, but we'll have to see what the organizers think about what EF just did. Whether they'll disqualify them, whether they'll count that as cutting, as like making the finish line, that's still a debate anyway. Now Lidl Trek might be at risk of getting cut. And they are just going very slowly. Like 68 seconds slowly. Bora Hansgrohe are now going. Feels like they're through split 3 pretty quickly. Not going to be two-door pace, but it's going to be decent pace. Anyway, next up, we have Visma Lisa Bike. And they seem to be flying down this course very well. Oh, but they just had a bad bounce there, and that's probably the end of the run. And with one realistic threat left to go, Two-Door must be thinking they might have the yellow jersey in the next stage. Visma Lisa Bike is slow, so we now focus our attention on UAE Team Emirates. The last runners of this time trial seem about the pace of Visma right now. Oh, but they get the same bad bounce! And I think that might do it for UAE's run. I think that might be the stage victory for Two-Door Pro Cycling. UAE, they just don't have the pace. And there it is. It's official. Two-Door Pro Cycling is Stage 1 winners. UAE comes in at an abysmal 59.15 seconds. So, this is final classification. First place, Two-Door Pro. Second place, Ineos Net Company. Third place, Pinarello. Fourth place, Bahrain Victorious. Fifth place, NSN. Organizers have made the decision to not apply the cutoff to Lidl Trek due to this being the first time and it being a time trial. They must have overshot what they think the cutoff should be. But EF's time was also reinstated, but we're given a 5-second penalty due to jumping the finish line. So their time is listed on there as well. So Two-Door will be wearing the yellow jersey next time. Ineos will be wearing green on their behalf. No one will be in the polka dots because, of course, there wasn't a single categorized climb. Anyway, that will do it. Thank you for watching. We hope to see you again.